Hi, hey everyone, it's Vacrin here, and today I have a explanation for you. So my explanation is going to be on the zombie ranks, and there are 25 different ranks. So there's there's one bone, two bones, a skull with a knife behind it, and a skull with two shotguns. Now each one of those can go up to 5 tally marks. Once you go to the 6th tally mark, you go to another rank. And so there have been many different ideas on how you might do this and what the formula is for it. Now, I've come up with a pretty good idea and a pretty good formula. It takes into account everything. Let's see, it takes into account kills, downs, revives, grenade kills, headshots, deaths, gibs, perks, doors, hits and bullets, and miles. And it also takes into account the rounds and the amount of days played. So what I've done is I broke up all of the possible global leaderboards into different categories. Now, I may not have done this right, and it may just be coincidence that I happened to get an answer that was fairly close to something that would make sense. So let's see. What I did was I have 9 different stats for the global leaderboards. So I have kills to downs, so kills divided by downs, downs divided by, revives divided by downs, grenade kills divided by kills, headshots divided by kills, deaths divided by downs, gibs divided by kills, perks divided by doors, hit divided by bullets, and kills divided by miles. And so all of this will give you a very rough estimate of what your actual rank is. The next thing to take into account is the amount of rounds you've played and the amount of games. So, what I did for that was I took all of the different game types, or not game types, I took all of the different possible ways you can play one map, which is 4, because you can play it with 1 person, 2 person, 3 people, 4 people, and that's it. And so I added up all of the rounds from each one of those. So I added the rounds from first player, second player, 3 players, and 4 players. I added them all together and then divided by 4 to come up with an average for that map. Then I did this for the other 3, 4 maps, I think. I think it's 4 or 5. I think, yeah, it's the other 5 maps. And then for grief, this is a little bit more interesting, and I'm not sure I should have done this, but what I did was I took the amount of grief games that you've won, because that's what it's scored off of. And so I took the amount of grief games that you've won and then added it to the averages of all the games that you've played. And then I divided all of this by 7. So the reason I divided by 7 is because there's 5 different maps. You know, NukeTown Farm, TranZit Town, and Bus Depot. And then there are 2 other game types, which is Grief on Farm and Grief on Town. And this gave me a pretty good score of another total that I added to the total of all the different stats that I did. So, those 9 different global stats, I added all of them together, and then I added the rounds onto that, and that gave me a pretty rough estimate of what you should have at such and such rank. And the reason that I can guess at it so well is because I have a person on my friends list who's the absolute highest rank possible. I'm not even kidding you, she is the shotgun with 2 is the skull with 2 shotguns and 5 tally marks. And I'm not even kidding you. She is an amazing player, and she did this without glitching. She does not like glitches, and so she almost wasn't my friend for a while. Anyways, so, and then I also have a friend who's the absolute lowest. He is just a single crossbone, or just a single bone with 1 tally mark. So, actually, yeah, okay, never mind. I just had a thought about, what if there was actually 30 different possible ranks, because I think you can get a rank, you can be of a different rank, and have 0 tally marks. If this is so, let me know. But anyways, so the last part to my formula is the amount of days played. So everybody knows that if you stop playing, you start losing ranks. And you lose a tally mark for every day that you don't play. Now, depending on how you format my scale that I have, you either lose 10 points or lose 1 point. If you have everything divided by 10, then you would lose 1 point. If you kept it as is, you would get subtracted 10 points. However, I've noticed that you keep your score if you've been playing every day. But I think after 10 days, if you stayed absolutely the same, you would rank up 1 tally mark. And I don't know if anybody's confirmed this. I mean, 10 days is a lot to stay the exact same in zombies. So I'm not necessarily sure, but I counted it for every 10 days would be another tally mark. And so I went and did the math on my score, and I have right around 120, 130-ish. But I've been playing for the last 20, 30 days straight. So that would be an extra 2 or 3 tally marks, which would fit perfectly with what I have. My friend who's the top rank has a 246 or a 240 score without her rounds included, and a 254 with her rounds included, which would be exactly what it's supposed to be. And this isn't even including the amount of days that she's played. I mean, I'm fairly certain she's played every day since it came out, so there's no need to worry about that. But for my lowest friend, who is a just a bone, he has a score of about 36. And so I was thinking, well, that doesn't make sense if this is going to fit into my scale. And this was just based off of his global scores and his rounds. It was a 36, which is really low. He's only played like 2 or 3 games. Anyways, and so when you take that into account, he should have 3 tally marks, but he has 1, and it's because he doesn't ever play. So he lost 2 tally marks, and that's as far as it'll go down, because you can't have a negative rank. So yeah, that's my idea on how the ranking system works. I may or may not post or make a program that will be able to calculate a rank, and if I get it wrong, it's really not my fault, because nobody has an idea what it's supposed to be. So yeah, if you guys have an even better than mine, or something that I should change, like if I should change it to, I don't know, kills over Gibbs or something like that. Just like another division status thing of the global leaderboards, let me know and I'll try it out and see if it works. I'm kind of considering that some of the stats might be times 10, or times 10 or times 100 to get them into a better score, like a whole number rather than a percentage. So it's just an idea. Right now, the two major things that play the biggest part in getting ranked up, at least in my formula, is number one, the amount of kills to downs. Number two, the amount of what is it? Oh yeah, miles to kills, or kills to miles. And then three, the amount of rounds. That's the second biggest part, or that's the least biggest part, but it is still fairly helpful. So yeah, let me know what you guys think.